Hey y'all, so we have another game on steps here for 4v4 against some of the top players on the ladder, and super excited to kind of see how this plays out. It's one of my favorite maps. It's really open. You can see a lot of vehicles, see a lot of action, especially on the top and bottom side. Looks like we have kind of our first drop here in the middle from the Vermont player going
Heavy machine gun has been deployed for you.
You know, pretty aggressive play. Not a lot of people like to go into the middle. You typically see contest points at the fuel, so this plus 10 fuel right here, plus 10 fuel right here. Usually this star is contested quite a bit, and this one is lightly contested as well as the middle, depending on who wins. So just kind of curious to see how the action goes. It can really go either way on this map, all about who gets to some of these positions first. These sandbags are really important. They provide a lot of great cover, and you can essentially take any engagement, but again, you have two double engineers, double Brits, so just a little bit of housekeeping. We have 3 Brits, 1 American US forces on the Allies, and 3 DAC, and 1 Vermont on the Axis players. So going to be assuming a lot of vehicles coming out. Looks like Yellow's coming from the bottom using Coh3 to take all the points. So the early bleeding will start for the Allies, and yeah, it looks like the MG is a little bit out of position here. You got nice position from the squad into the sandbags, but we'll see how they deal with effectively the double MG. So it's going to be hard to break through this. There's not a lot of space and a lot of cover you can get into these buildings, and looks like they're going to try to rush in and, you know, take out these squads and take care of the point right here. Nice maneuver to stop them from capping the fuel, so getting that extra fuel in the early game is super important, especially with the DAC players to try to get those flags out. And you might see him commit to this just to go for it, but it doesn't look like it. And on the bottom side, it looks like the Dingo and this, they're gonna go fight it out. The Dingo might be going down here. It's gonna be very close, but I think that might be
We've lost the sector.
Bit of a trade here. So they're gonna trade out potentially these 2 cars, which I think it will favor the DAC player, because the Dingo is kind of that key unit to get that momentum going early. There's a lot of infantry coming out from the DAC's side on here. You've got the Scout car coming in and adding that additional pressure. And it doesn't help that it looks like the US forces are on the bottom side, so not necessarily as equipped to deal with this early game until they get the grenades. And it looks like they're just going to be able to flank this, get behind the MG, and I'm not seeing any grenades out, so it looks like they're going to be pretty safe so far. Even if they are, there's only 1 grenade, so it's not going to necessarily kill the car and waste a bunch of munitions until these other squads coming in. So just holding their ground. Nobody's really using cover down here, and it looks like top side has effectively been won by the Allies. And so we're going to focus a little more on this bottom side here. And it looks like it's quite the battle. You know, lots of infantry. It looks like Allies are losing a lot of help, trying to move those micro those 2 back, but keep them in the fight a little longer. And it's looking tough. So you got the fuel split between the 2 teams, although it looks like they're trying to deep cap the top fuel. But you know, there's 2 MGs here covering both angles, both the flank and then the fuel. So nice. Looks like they had a lot of patience here. With the AT guns coming out from the sections, it's going to be very difficult for them to push into the Concar, but it may not be enough to take the fuel right now. You have these guys sitting in cover, waiting for them to kind of contest this angle in case they try to go for the fuel. So nice positioning by the teal player just to make sure that they secure the fuel as long as possible, get those flags out early, especially since they lost the top fuel. They're losing the top point. Again, AT rifles coming out from the boys, the sections, and then it doesn't look like they're pushing up very much. They have a nice little position here. Got an MG coming out from the Vermont player, it looks like, and just trying to secure at least the resources on the right side. And it looks like they're going to be pushing out this player, the orange player, but he ended up getting the vehicle, so even if he gets pushed out, which doesn't look like he's going to do full retreat, it's a soft retreat going into the bottom side right now. It looks like they're contesting the stars. There's a lot of action coming in. They're able to get on top of you guys, and it might be a squad wipe. Yes, it is. Nice squad wipe by the bottom players, and a lot of action going on. Nobody materially winning everything. It's kind of a wash. And if they were able to decap this field, which it looks like they are because the MGs just can't get close, this nice positioning, getting there first, getting there behind the sandbags. Let's see if there's a grenade here, or they're just going to try to brute force it. And yeah, just forcing a retreat and saving their fuel. That was a very important save right there. And it looks like the Axis players are starting to push back.
They're losing a munitions point to enemy action.
And it's a bit of a split map, nobody taking any material advantage. So nice even engagements, great positioning by both teams, great uses of great unit selection, making sure they have counters for both. And the stumble starting to come out. It's a very early stumble, and the yellow end up going for. No, he didn't use a Coh3, so he doesn't have that fast vehicle production. This is just a standard tech. And I'm curious if he's going to end up going 2 stumbles, which is something that's becoming very popular these days. It's definitely in 4v4. The ability to use double smoke on the artillery and able to play around the AT guns with those smokes. It looks like RNC is coming out from pink, so having that med station work for both of them, but you're starting to see the attack round coming in from stumble at distance. So really starting to push the issue, but it's going to be hard to push into this without some sort of artillery, and looks like bottom point has been won by the allies so far. AT coming out from blue, so it's a little early, especially with the upgraded rifleman coming out. He's going to be at a severe disadvantage, and there's a MG coming on the way. They're a little clumped, so it looks like they're starting to back off. This one's might get caught, but Purple's gonna start pushing the issue. I'm curious to see if he has grenades. Yes, he does. So he's gonna really start pushing it back, throwing the grenade right behind him. But trying to just basically use his mobility to bully teal and blue. He does a lot more damage per second. The Pentagrenadier is out, so just making sure that they can't heal, and he puts a pressure on. And again, here's the flak. Here's where that +10 fuel starts to really kick in. And I'm assuming there's a flak top. Yes, there is. So flak and a stumble. So AT gun should be coming out at any second now. It does. Otherwise, there's no way they're going to be holding. Yep. So the AT gun is here. They're really starting to put pressure on this. Try to bleed him out. So whenever you're in this position, you may not win the full push because they're healing, but the more you can bleed them out, the more pressure that you can put on them. That manpower is super valuable, especially for British early. They really rely on that manpower and not bleeding too much to get those AT guns out, and it looks like they end up winning the position. So a lot of heavy artillery coming out. You have potentially another mortar coming out from this half track, and the scout coming here. So they effectively won material on the bottom side. It looks like it's a kind of a switcheroo. Allies have one material on the bottom side, and you'll see RNC here again. So 2 RNCs coming out, so we're expecting a lot of artillery later in the game. And there's going to be some counter heavy mortars coming in from the allies here at the top as well. Nice hit. The Fletcher Bandadiers.
Enemy forces have captured a victory point.
Can't get any of these unit names right, but looks like there's going to be a heavy investment again into infantry, trying to position and get this manpower point back, get the healing station back. And again, you don't see much activity here on the middle unless you win your side, and just kind of take it for free. Maybe put a unit there or two. You see a little bit of contest, but this is a very interesting tactic here that is very important. That the Axis players are contesting this manpower, so they can't get a med station on that manpower until it's retaken and then effectively won, because you don't want it to just die again. And that's going to be a hard thing to do. You got mortars, you got stumble, you got an MG. They're kind of clumping up here. They need to move the AT up. this guy can, with his 1-star, he can actually smoke in front of the AT gun to just continue bombarding. The flak is here. It's getting covered by the buildings. It's really hard to hit. This is not a kind of an AT gun friendly game. And just kind of quickly looking at the bottom side. Oh wow, nice grenade.
Tank gun and crew are
Very
ready
nice
for
grenade. So again, bleeding that manpower even more, even having to retreat, so not being able to utilize that med truck, which I'm assuming did not die. If it did, I don't see it. But yeah, pushing the issue back again. We're going to focus more on this top side because this is where a lot of the... Oh, nice hit. But that AT gun is in a little precarious position. They're trying to get an angle, so this is a straight shot angle because he sees the flak here. He sees the stumble, so he's trying to position it right here so he can not have to deal with the flak. But the allies are not in a great position. You can see the map. It's very access favored, even if they have this munition that's kind of pushing it out. If you take that out, they effectively only have a third of the map right now. They haven't had a good answer for all of this AT, or all this tank. They have 2 AT guns on the bottom side, just trying to hold this point, using the infantry advantage with the bars to push against the counter infantry that the DAC is also trying to play with. But it doesn't look like there's too many MGs, and they may be able to just bully these guys out, but, you know, not as much as top is getting bullied. I mean, top is getting really bullied to a point where they may actually just take this munitions if they're not, if they want to be really aggressive, or maybe just put like a straight engineer on it that's really safe. It does look like they have a healing system in the back here. Some nice already coming out, taking down that heavy mortar. That heavy mortar is key to holding everyone back. I mean, you can see how clumped they are. Kind of like an Artie versus Dream. Throw some grenades, throw some Artie, and it looked, yeah, the heavy MG starting to move up, and it's looking a little grim up here. But you know, consolidation really helps the AT guns kind of position themselves. If there's no Nebels, if there's nothing that they have to worry about in terms of like AOE Artie, they, you know, pumping up can be a very good thing. You guys pump up next to the med station. Looks like they're taking this back, trying to re-push. Looks like Pink might be going for the middle, just trying to stop the bleeding, and you know, it's actually very interesting. There's so much map to go around, and these buildings are working against the allies right now. Typically, this is how you defend, but it's harder to defend, and even harder to, you know, maintain all this infantry. You know, if you can't get the AT gun up, you know, this flak is going to have a field day. And on top of that, the flak is now able to take 3 shots from AT instead of 2. Nice flank here from the heavy mortars, potentially taking them out. And if he can steal this, this will mark a nice little comeback here, because it's going to add some significant artillery. But it looks like he's just going to kill it. He's going to kill the AT gun too, so that's a lot of manpower that's about to be drained. And this could be the start of a comeback. You know, they're holding from their base area, but again, they can't really move up. They have nothing to do with these, so they're limited in how far they can push. They're just trying to gather as much from these resources as they can. And on the bottom side, you're seeing a nice blob of riflemen coming in from with the bars.
Have claimed our territory.
And you're seeing some defensive emplacements put up. They really want to kind of guard this position, guard this.
The enemy is stealing our territory from us.
The good part about winning bottom is there's a lot of air. It's like the most flankable area of the map. You have this opening right here. On the other side, you have these openings that give you nice pathways into the middle and key fuel points.
Enemy has claimed our sector.
Yeah, winning a side on this, as you saw on the top side, is extremely important because of your ability to actually play the game later and get position. So you're going to start to see more contests in the middle. Looks like the position has gotten back. The allies have gotten the position back in the middle, using that heavy artillery to push back the MGs. And yeah, you know, the tides have turned a little bit. It does look like the flaks are starting to hit that point where they're less effective with more AT guns coming out. And this is, you know, an area where less experienced players may quit earlier because you just don't know how to deal with the flak. But from a timing standpoint, if you can get a couple AT guns out, that flag just becomes less and less of a problem. You slowly push up methodically.
Hands up here, reporting in.
And the key point is trying to take this fuel back. Yellow is doing his best to protect the fuel. And having those smokes come in from the heavy mortar and covering with the AT gun is exactly what you need. You see the captain here is set at this rally point, so all the healing that's coming on for the bottom players are just to kind of sustain the position. And yeah, it looks like they've capped this point as well, and whether or not they take it is less of a point. You know, if they take it, great, but it's more important that your opponent doesn't have it and they're more fuel starved, especially since they've had it for so long. And it looks like this AT gun was not positioned well. He was assuming that he was covering the flank, and nice push up with the Panzer. And here comes the Crusader. They're trying to even the odds on the tank battle, but you know, this guy's going straight into this. This is not good. That's going to be potentially a triple wipe. That's one wipe for sure, but going into this fire is like probably the worst idea you can do with the infantry. And it looks like, you know, Purple is looking to potentially go top. They feel like they have a comfortable position. Bottom, they have MG, they have some units here. Even Purple, he's leaving a lot. He's using his AT and his MG to help, you know, cover this flank. And you got the bishops coming in to really put in the hurt. So, you know, a strategic decision to help their allies on top and really try to take that position. And effectively 2.5 versus 2, or at minimum, start taking this munitions point, which is also very big. And you can see they've cached their munitions on that side again, something that is an advantage when you're playing
Victory point is under enemy
cache
control.
those munitions. Let's see if I can get it from red. Yeah, so you cached with supply surplus, and yeah, it looks like Purple is really starting to push the issue, trying to cap more points, stop that bleeding even more. They're to a point where
the beggars are threatening a victory point.
It looks as though there's some sort of equilibrium. They sort of lost this position on top. They got that nice flank from the tanks over here. It looks like the Matilda or the Crusader helped, but it didn't help improve their odds. And Yellow's kind of split mapping this right now. So again, he won his position, so he's going to be able to put a little more time in the middle as these guys are pushed back quite a bit. A feature of the map, and it looks like there's a little bit of a stalemate. You know, everyone's trying to re-up a little bit, make sure that they're ready for the next engagement, kind of seeing what people have.
We have surplus munitions.
Greet's got artillery up. He's playing the Italian battle group. So artillery is starting to become the next kind of big stage, and this is where the game can swing wildly. Doesn't really matter how many points they have as long as it's not in a critical area. If you get a good artillery off, you can completely swing the game. And well, this doesn't help throwing away your tanks. You got 2 Crusaders coming out. You got the Hellcat here, so I don't know if there's going to be a recovery vehicle on any side of the fence, but the Crusaders are starting to really put in work. And if he ends up getting the upgrade for the medium tanks, they can really start doing some damage. And now you're going to see a little bit of the command. You can see the Hellcats playing a little more towards the middle, trying to go to the bottom, and this guy is just getting worked. That's 1 wipe at least. I think that might be 2 wipes. Yeah, so it's 2 wipes. 3. Blue just took a ton of damage, but you know, it's a friendly fire. But you can see he only has 2 units left. So this is effectively a 1v2 at this point. And Pink, on the other hand, let's see what Pink has. He's got quite a few. He's been getting a little worked up. Here comes a couple of RD calls right here. We're seeing a lot of callers coming in. Got a caller coming in on the bottom as well. Just trying to focus here a little bit. But yeah, getting pushed back a little bit.
The enemy has pushed us back from our sector.
But yeah, a lot of people. So now more focus on the middle. It seems like they might have given up top and really trying to focus on this position right here. So for the allied players, So if I were to say that if there is an advantage, it would definitely be from a position standpoint access. You have sort of more control of the middle if you think of it like a chessboard. A lot of chess players like having middle control and being able to kind of choose where to take the engagements on each side. And from positionally, it's really hard to break once you have position here and don't have too much party. You're going to see bishops coming out, but you see a lot of this army is sitting in the back. Obviously, some of it's retreated, but this high ground that's protecting the middle is really starting to take its toll, and them losing like these valuable points like this manpower is starting to really hurt them over time. Being more manpower deficient, being in a position where you're constantly getting pushed back, constantly having to heal, it's not a position you want to be in. And if you take a look at blue, he will slowly start rebuilding and getting his army back. So the fact that they're effectively doing this 3v2 is not a good sign for the allies, just because they can't simply break the position. And it looks like, again, another loiter coming out. Not a lot of anti-air coming in from the allies, so these things are going to last quite a long time. They can't push past this. They're going to buy even more time to bleed out, and it looks like the Stukas might be coming out. Or simply just the call-in. Yeah, the call-in's here. And oh, that might be a big one. Oh man, there's multiple call-in. They're just working orange. So he's effectively going to be out of the game for a couple minutes. And you can see how long this call-in is from yellow. I mean, they cannot push into this. Both, yeah, there's a Stuka. And getting a Stuka on the high ground it's just not going to be something that you want to deal with. It's going to be hard to contest. He's in a position where, you know, it's very covered. You're not going to see many allies come from this side. Even though it seems a little open, if you get collapsed from either side, you're basically going to lose everything. So that's why, like, players typically don't like to force the issue in between. They may send a couple of guys to scout, just kind of see what's over there. It looks like green's really pushing into his base from the top side of pink. And if you look at pink right now, just trying to see what he has, he's at 50 pounds. He's not doing really well, and a couple of his units are in the middle, so it's like he can't adequately hit anything. And nice arty coming out, really potentially killing this AT gun. That's going to be a nice little win there if they can kill it, and it's not going to get recruited. Yeah, they're going to kill it. And this kind of opens up things for Crusaders a little bit. If they can take down this AT gun, it might give them a chance to really push, but looks like Purple's also calling in some artillery. So, you know, one good thing about being aggressive and pushing is you can get that vision, but, you know, getting flanked again, it's hard to push into the middle even from that side because you're going to get flanked by somebody, but they've done a ton of damage, killing a couple of AT units. They're going to get both the AT gun and that, but these guys are extremely low. It's going to take just two of these Panzer Grenadiers. These guys are just trying to grenade them to take them out. And another arty coming in from green, trying to get at least a couple of these tanks. You got the first Crusader coming down. You're going to have another call-in from red, trying to take green out and pushing green back, taking this position, but unfortunately purple can't actually take the point. And yeah, again, risking these Crusaders just to take out the AT gun. Not sure if that's a good idea. That's going to be a little tough to do. And it looks like all the action's going to be in the middle now. Each side has a point that they're very comfortable with. Not seeing the allies at least trying to push these points, even with like a spare engineer just to cause a reaction. That might be a little bit of a mistake, but I think you're going to start to see that was a little weird. I don't feel like he did that melted this quick, but
This'll quiet those agents some.
yeah, the middle point's where all the action is, and nice call-in. We got a really nice hit on blue. Again, he's just a punching bag right now. That's 2 squad wipes. That might be another one. No. you know, getting a couple of AT guns. He's just kind of the punching bag right now. And it doesn't look like, you know, Axis has a lot of units on the field. They've been getting already pushed, you know, on the opposite side. The Stuka didn't really do much, so that's a kind of a wasted hit. And it looks like they're starting to smell a little bit of blood here on the Allies. They're really pushing in from both sides. You got from the left side of the hill, the tanks pushing in. They're losing quite a bit. Yellow's calling that already the call in again, and it just kind of secures his position. And anything in that circle is just going to get rolled. And Green is just going balls deep. He's just trying to kill all the infantry as he can. 2 squad wipes might be coming in for Pink. 1, definitely. You're going to see this tank potentially going down. You got 2 RDs coming in right here. Yep, that's going to be going down as well. And it looked like a promising push from the Allies, and then they just got kind of rolled. But they ended up taking the point, stopping that bleeding a little bit. You're starting to see the bleed coming in from the Axis side, but that's going to quickly get rectified unless there's something to be done about it. You got some 5 AT guns from Purple. So going infantry heavy and AT gun heavy, which is a very interesting strategy. You're seeing... you can tell he control group potentially all of these, so he's trying to one-shot like some tanks, but if they get caught in one arty, like never hurt. That was just... Oh, one more? No. Yep, one more. I take that back. You got 2 more tanks here. I mean, Green just lost all of his tanks, so if there were a time to push, it's gonna be now. The call-ins were just used. It's going to take a minute for them to come back. You really just got to worry about the Stuka and the flak. But there's plenty of AT guns to go around for those flaks not to live. And then it looks like Purple's doing his call-in right here. Just really, really trying to push the issue and just, you know, desperately taking this point. It looks like the infantry's trying to push in. Blue might get more squad wipes. Got a nice 3-star coming there. Retreating. Nope, gets out. Gets wiped. Purple's just trying to push the issue with his infantry. But, I mean, this one MG is just causing all kinds of issues. That position on the top side right here, covering it with the tanks. I mean, he's covering that entire point. That infantry is not going in. You can see this flame of death just preventing any additional infantry. Like, they would have to go all the way around. And if they do, it's not going to be a good time. Looks like the whiz-bangs are coming out. Again, they recognize that this MG is a significant problem. Trying to go ahead and kill it so they can rush in with some infantry and take that point. And, you know, Pink is starting to try to flank here. He's trying to make something happen, and sending an engineer all the way top, potentially just trying to take that top point, because he knows that there's nobody up there, or potentially nothing up there. Maybe there's like a bunker from the Vermont, but for the most part, it's empty. But with him revealing that with his tanks, I don't think he's gonna... He's kind of alerted the Axis players that that's his intention, is to really pressure this side. And you know, playing in this little crevice is not a lot of movement for the tanks. It's not going to be easy for him to really push the issue. He has to kind of play in an open space. But yeah, nice drop in to take the point, stop the bleeding. And it looks like they're trying to do both at the same time. So they've pushed quite a bit into each side. Again, it looks like Green lost quite a few tanks when he kind of rounded it out here. Lost all of these tanks, gave an opening to the Allied forces, and it doesn't matter how you start, if you can finish strong here, that will be more than worth it. You got the Tiger coming out, so the big boys here trying to be the anchor for this team in the middle, and you can see that Yellow's starting to defend this point. He sees what they're trying to do. They're trying to split the map a little bit more, open it up. And opening that up, you know, forcing these 2 tanks. Those are 2 tanks that are not in the middle. Those are 2 tanks that were here pressuring that hill that now have to go top. So they're still in the game. There's nothing that saying that they can't win. But this is not help. That's going to be potentially a white. Yep. From purple. See them defending this area heavily. And nice hiding the commandos here. And yeah, they're going to try to go in, but they probably don't see these tanks here. And yeah, that's going to be short-lived. So they're going to get that point back. So stop the bleeding there. Whizbang's really... so it's an interesting thing. Like, a lot of players try to, you know, focus their arty on where they can find, you know, places to hit. But in this position, when you're really just trying to bleed your opponents, you're a little behind, well, a lot behind on this. You can just make sure that anytime somebody steps on this thing, you arty it. Just make sure you get them to step off, kill it, don't cap it so you can continue to bleed. Because right now, you got to prevent yourself. Oh, that might not have been the best move right there. That's probably 1 game that's about to go down. Or 1 tank, yeah. And it looks like Artie's coming in again. Yellow's pushing the issue. He wants to retake this hill again. And this Grant is going to go down. It's not long for this world. And again, you're seeing them prioritizing taking this point. Just making sure that they don't take it. But that one little squad might be enough to cap it. Yep, he capped it. So again, it doesn't matter if he died. It more matters at this point that he capped it, because he can beat twice, no problem. And ends up staying long enough to take the point again. So adding even more pressure to the allies and trying to, and you can see, like, they're really putting the focus on the artillery here. 3 bishops coming in. You got the whiz-bangs. I don't know how many whiz-bangs you have. Probably just 1. But yeah, he's down to 3 artillery guns. He's got 3. He lost 1 squad of infantry there. You see Red just trying to poke and prod. Maybe make sure they use some call-ins to try to waste it on him instead of when the real fight comes. But yeah, nice whiz-bang shot. They're going to take out potentially the NG. That NG was covering this area. But he's got to be careful. You know, that's a fresh squad right there. And you're going to see, yeah, Pink is really starting to try to cover this flank. He's got he's got 1 AT gun. But there's a lot of tanks here. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get far. And it looks like Red is just sitting here. Yeah, I'm not sure that was the best place. I mean, it's just a black. Maybe he thought there were more players there. But now the Tiger's starting to really start making his presence known, planting himself right in the middle of that contested point. That's a tough thing to go through. You got quite AT guns, quite a bit of penetration, but you don't have a lot of heavy tanks coming in here. So you're seeing maybe some potential fuel deficiencies on the other side, or maybe they're just choosing not to go tanks because of the loiters. And yeah, they're looking like they want to kind of bully out the Tiger a little bit, which is not something I'd say. Nice hit. Got one of the Stukas. That was a good arty. Again, they outranged these guys, so if they could find them, they're potentially in a world of pain. And it looks like they're trying to push hard on the top side. People coming in. Blue looks like he stole an AT gun. They're not having too much luck. There's this little crevice that is providing a lot of cover for Green, who also put in that's a big hit. You're gonna have to repair all of that damage, and that's not good for, you know, them trying to take this point. But it looks like they took it again with the call in, so covering the infantry that's trying to take it in. But there's a lot of points to bleed through here. So who's gonna actually finish it off? You know, if you lose enough on the Axis side, you can be in a position where you can't retake that point, and all of a sudden, yep, a lot of AT.
Enemy movement near victory point.
And I'm kind of shocked that I haven't seen any Nevils. considering how much AT is on the field. You know, it's a great way to make sure that you can take out AT guns and force the issue. Yeah, you're seeing both players focus solely on covering this middle area. And immediately after the Stuka hit, you can see the Bishops just trying to take it out. They know exactly where Stuka is once they hit that AT gun. And so it may have just been a little too late, but yeah, it looks like the position is not necessarily back. It's just both teams are a little further back, and just curious where blue is right now. Yeah, still doesn't have too much, to be honest, but he's just kind of hanging in there. He's just, his friends are you know, covering up for his lack of use, you know, his lack of population. And infantry is not the best at taking on a Tiger, but their goal is getting wiped, apparently. That Tiger just one-shot that hit. And that thing, those guys might need to be a little careful. They're going to get one shot from the Tiger if they're not too careful. But yeah, just kind of swapping out units, making sure they don't decap. Nice hit on the Bishops on this tank, and you know, just try and do everything they can to get Pink back into the game. He's getting bullied quite a bit. You're just seeing I think for green, seeing that kind of defensive line there, and it's looking like they're gonna try to take the point again on the Allies side, bringing in the Tiger, trying to take out the infantry. And the Whizbank is all over the middle. Yeah, again, whenever you see somebody trying to take a point, it's already in the middle. Cover it up. It's less important that you try to kill something, and more important to, you know, make sure they don't get the point. You only have 36 left. Ooh, what a hit. Yeah, that's not going to work out well for them. And you know, maybe it was purely for division.
Panzer Pioneers reported killed.
But yeah, the map is still split. Nobody's taking any material ownership on either side. They're doing a good job covering for it. You can see Pink just trying to continuously go for this thing with the single unit, but obviously it's getting seen, and this is kind of acting as an early warning system because every time they go in it, they auto fire on it, so they know it's coming. There's no way to kind of sneak it in. But yeah, it looks like they're going to try to go for
artillery batteries are on standby. They request
the
order.
point again, and the MG's
All
back
batteries
up.
on alert. Fire at will.
The green is calling in a ton of arty. There goes one wipe. There's potentially two. This guy's probably going to end up dying to the flames. Oh, that hit was just gnarly. And they're using this time to do their own call-in in this area, just trying to recapture the point here, which if they succeeded, purple is really going deep, just trying to press the issue here and take more map control, take this strategic point, get that munition back, but more importantly, taking out this repair bunker, getting more position, and here comes the Stukas, and they're potentially going to take out. Oh, that was close. Oh my god. That is a lot to take out just one player. Pink and green, again, battling up top. Just Andrews versus Crusaders. Yeah. Can you, oh, nice hit. And just backing up a little bit, but ultimately green won the engagement. Just successfully backing up. You know, time is of the essence here. They're trying to just keep things alive, and potentially getting another one. They got one Crusader. They're gonna probably get this one too. The Grant's trying to come in, but nice cover from blue to try to prevent the flank. And oh, that's ambitious right there. I wouldn't guess they're doing that. Red and teal trying to fight it out towards the bottom. And sneaky little play here. Blue's trying to go for the point on the bottom. Just, you know, trying to cap it and bleed it a little more, but it looks like they caught on. Not going to be too successful, not a hard commitment, but you know, it is a distraction. That means purple has to go bottom and contest, but that was bank protected the top, and it looks like pink snuck his way through to the top, capping it again, being super annoying against capping is all that matters right now. That's all they're trying to do is cap these points, and looks like he's just trying to run away. So he decapped, run away, try to recontest this, and just a back and forth game. Both teams are pretty even in terms of contesting these points, but Allies clearly in a more precarious situation, just trying to survive at 36 points, and one mistake is all that's needed for them to lose it all. And somewhere. Got the artillery on. Almost. Oh, nice hit. Oh, that's where it went. Not sure if they destroyed much, but. Oh my god. The Arty is brutal, but they ended up getting the point back. And again, they survived. That's all they can ask for right now is to survive. Not, ooh, this might be getting wide here, but nice cover from the AT. Again, the Allies are going really AT gun heavy, and they're not even picking up their own AT guns right now. I mean, they could have even more. But the Tiger's still in the game at 2 points better. He's got a pretty good position in the middle, just trying to contest any infantry coming in to deny them. But the Grants are really good against infantry too, potentially wiping this. Luckily, the riflemen were low too, but replacing it with another infantry squad. And invisible and at that, so they didn't even see it. A nice little surprise attack. But the Whizbang chose not to focus on the middle and chose to focus on the top side and pretty much completely whiffing. So a mistake there potentially, and now the bleeding starts again.
Our victory point is being neutralized by the enemy.
Colin is coming in from yellow. He's trying to secure this area. There's two Collins. There's another Colin. Now, just two Collins, but that's enough to, ooh, nice hit from the Arty there. Aaron C making his presence known, taking out two AT guns, but they just may not have enough. They got to get on this point to stop the bleeding. There's an MG covering the top side, so this is pretty much the only hope. They don't have anything close to the top point. They're gonna, at one point, they're just gonna have to commit, otherwise they're just gonna end up losing. I mean, 20 points and counting. And there's still a squad just sitting on the point in case somebody comes. Like, if there's a time to commit, it's gonna be now. And here comes another Arty coming in. Just putting more pressure. The Grant's almost going down. Having a nice...
A Panzer III has been struck.
Nice 17-pounder up there, but we got 11 points in. They're going in for the commitment. We're going to see if it ends up working out. They got 3 AT guns coming in. Here comes the artillery. They're going to have a Whizbang probably popping in any second now. They covered the point with all the flames, so the infantry is acceptable. It's 5 points left. This might be it. When that infantry goes down, they need to get them on the point. And that may be it. Is he going to be the hero? It's all close. It didn't get off. They were 1 second away. That's so nuts. You can even see the point is already taken. That's sick. That was probably after the fact, but what a game. That was just spectacular to watch. Both teams ended up winning one side, and classic steps. Everyone just goes to the middle and just brawls, and it was incredibly fun to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Just kind of seeing how much damage was dealt. You can see like 40k, 30k, like everybody was doing a little damage, minus that one guy who blew, who just, you know, lost everything multiple times. But for the most part, it was an incredible game. Yeah, thanks for watching. We're gonna have more of these come up. Maybe do some 3v3s, but for now, that's it for this. Thanks, everyone.